Alright, so yeah, welcome back to class again. So in this video, for this class now, we're going to be looking at grid and layout. Alright, so you're going to see how we can be able to make use of things to be in a much better way. Alright, so we're gently diving into more professional and more hard stuffs here. All right, so I just created a new frame, so making use of this desktop view. All right, so one thing you need to understand about grid is that grid and layout actually help you organize your design so that everything that you are doing in your design, in your frame, all right, everything looks clean, balanced, and easy to read. All right, so you just need to see grid as something invisible. It's actually an invisible line basically that guide you where to place your text, your images, your buttons, just to make sure that things are properly aligned. All right, and just like we also talk about layout is how you arrange those elements, that's the text, the box, and and everything that you are using to design. All right, so that your design is going to feel much structured rather than being scattered. All right, how you'll be able to align them, to lay them out properly well. All right, just like layout, properly structured. Okay, so let's leave much of talking and let me show you how to create layout in your designs. For every design that you see, there is actually a structure to it. All right, there's actually a structure to it. So to be able to create, so for every frame, let's say you are designing for a desktop view or a tablet view or for mobile view, all right, each of these actually you need to create grid for it. All right, because they are definitely going to help you organize your designs very well, rather than you just placing things around. You just put the logo there, you put the buttons anywhere. No, actually that's where grid comes in. It helps you align your your design element properly well. All right, so that there's going to be balance. And remember, design is about being able to read, so it's going to ensure that there is readability. All right, so you come down here to the right side of the panel and then you could see it here, layout guide. So you click on it. All right, so I'm going to be showing you how to create for this desktop frame and mobile. All right, you can also try to do that even for tablet. You can do that as your take home. All right, so once you click on it, you have this shows up. So let me try to bring this up here so you can see it clearly. All right, so as you can see here, it shows grid and then it's writing size 10, and shows you the color, and then it shows you the opacity. All right, so when you are creating grid for a desktop view, basically we always make use of the column. So just click and you can see this drop down, click on it, and then you have this, you have columns and then you have rows. So let's go with rows. All right, so see all of these columns here as blocks, as like a tiles. Just see it like that. All right, just see it that way. Don't worry, I'm going to explain why I told you to see it that way. I don't know, have you ever seen your tiles before? Tiles block. All right, you know that each of them needs a little space to be able to breathe in. All right, so yes, so basically by default for desktop view, we actually make use of 12. Yes, 12. So you have your count to be 12. All right, so what will you see now? So this count here is how many columns do you want to have. By default you have it as 1 2 3 4 5. So you have 5. That's why it was showing count of 5. So but then I said to you that for desktop view you have 12 to be your columns. All right, and then once you have that, you can actually, once you click on enter, you could see it that we have 12. So if you count it, you see that there are 12 columns in this desktop frame here. Then we still have some other things that we still have here. All right, so we still have color. You can actually decide to change the color to to your preference. All right, you can change it, and you can change the opacity. Remember I said one thing about grid is that grid is not going to appear on your, let's say you're exporting, let's say you are done designing in this frame now, you are not going to see your grade appear in your designs. No, don't be scared that I are going to see some lines no, actually you are not going to see it. All right, yes, you are not going to see it. Okay, it's just for you to be able to see it, being a designer. So this is just me teaching you on how to be able to create your design, so that your designs is going to be in a more professional way. All right, so and then the next one we have is type. All right, so you also have some more options here. So this is actually asking a simple question that what type of colon are you trying to create? Is it stretch, is it left, is it center? All right, you can always leave it as stretch, is better. All right, if I click on center, you see, so it means that all of the counts, all of the columns, all right, that we have is centers them in the frame. And you cannot be designing in this with this small column. All right, it's not really helpful. All right, so just you can always play around. You see, to the right, it switches it to the right, and then you have to the left, but then leave it as stretch. Okay, what stretch does is, as you increase the width and the height of the column, it also follows through it. Can you see? It follows through it. All right, so that's why stretch is actually much better, because sometimes you might want to frame things, you want to adjust things and all of those things. All right, so the next one is for the width, leave it there, you can edit it because it's a stretch. All right, and then we have margin, and then we have gutter. So let me quickly explain what margin and what gutter is. All right, so for this margin here, margin, you need to see margin, because margin is actually the space around the edges of the frame. Do you understand? It's actually the space around the edges of the frame that you are working on, or you can call it screen. All right, we also call it screen, so we call frame screen sometimes. Okay, so this here is 0, meaning that the column boxes or the column tiles, so let's have it as tiles. All right, so these are tiles here is 12, so you can see that it's actually on everywhere on your design. So you can feel free to be able to adjust it, but then it's always better that you ensure that it leaves the wall. All right, this is what I'm explaining. So let's try to increase it. So you see what is happening. Can you see it? You see it's actually increasing. All right, it's leaving the wall. All right, you can increase based on what you want. All right, okay, but for me, I think I make use of 160 basically. All right, and I can't really recall at the moment why I always make use of 160. All right, and then we have for the gutter now. So gutter is actually the space between the columns in your grain. That is, for all of the 12 columns that you have here, the space between them. All right, you want them to have just like you have your blocks, you actually want them to be able to have some breathing space between them. Okay, so you can need to stretch this. Right, you can edit them to your preference. All right, you can increase them, but I think I always make use of 32, or you can make use of 16. All right, either of the two, 32 or 16, it's fine. Or you can make use of maybe something of 24. All right, so this way you say that, meaning what this is actually meaning is that you see this white space here, this space between the wall of the frame to this first column here, it means that you are not going to be designing anything here. Yes, why? It's because this way, so you are going to, whatsoever you are designing, let's say, okay, let me give an example quickly. All right, so let's say I have writing something here, say something like text. All right, so I K for scale, remember? Okay, so I have this, so I'm going to show you why scale grid is very, very important. Okay, so you see, when you move things around, let's try to take it. You see, there is a automatic ruler that comes in to show you that, oh, you are at the wall of your grid. So you see why it's very important that you are designing with your grid in for every frame that you are making use of, either for your mobile or for your tablet or for even watch or whatever you are trying to design for. Okay, it's very, very important. Okay, let's say we have maybe a rectangle shape. Okay, see, even me just trying to, you see, the ruler is active. It shows me, it helps me know, how I'm moving things. Do I want to place it here? If I'm placing it here, showing me that, oh, you are in alignment with the column that I have created already. All right, so it's actually very, very beautiful to be able to have. It's actually very beautiful to have your grid set. So yes, I missed something quickly for the color class. Okay, so you can actually type in the color that you are looking for. You can type in the color you are looking for in this color, in this X code here that we have. All right, so for example, now as you can see here, that the X code for this gray, this automatic gray that we're having here is D9D9D9. all right, let's say I don't know the color code, the X code for yellow, orange, blue, what else, black, white. You can actually type in the color that you want. Okay, let's say you are looking for something of purple, so you see I can type in purple. You see it's typing there, and you click on enter. See, it shows you purple. Okay, so let's say you are design, if you feel like the grid line is too it's too heavy for you, it's not really allowing you to see the color of your or whatsoever that you are designing. All right, you can actually yes, you can change it. You can reduce the opacity, right, by coming here. You can reduce it here, or you can come here and reduce it more. Okay, see something of this, but then I always prefer to make use of blue. All right, I prefer using blue. Okay, there's just a way blue helps me, because when you reduce the opacity of blue, it still helps you to still see things in a much better way. All right, so also another thing I would like you to note in this grid class is that you can actually create grid. You can have a style for grid as well. Remember how we created it for the color style and for our typography style? Is you come here to apply style, and then you click on this plus sign, and you have this. So you can name it as whatsoever that you want to have. All right, so you can have whatever that you want to have here. You can name it whatsoever you are naming it for. Okay, and you have what you have, and then when you are done, you click on this create style, and you are good. All right, so let's say you can actually also still add more. Okay, you can still add more, so you can just detach it, and then you add. Okay, and then you add, and just like I said, you can actually create also for row as well. Okay, depending on what you want to do. So this row basically helps you for your it helps you. You can see the way it is here, and to the degree in which you are looking it for. Okay, and you change your reference All right, can leave it as 8. Imagine if you wanted to leave, you can decide to leave it on the wall. All right, but preferably is okay on 0. All right, and the gutter is okay by 8. And if you don't want 8, you can leave it as 4 or maybe 12. All right, so just, and you can you have both together, both row and column? Absolutely yes, you can see it here. So let me show you how beautiful this is. So just like the column helps us for, so that's why it also helps you. So let's say you are trying to draw a shape, it can also help me as well. See, it moves. All right, see, very beautiful to have. So you see that grid is very, very important. It helps you to structure your designs absolutely well. All right, so and so basically another thing I would like to raise again is your spacing. All right, because grid is actually helping you to structure your the balancing of every of your design element. Okay, because of that, so there is a spacing that we make use of in design, and we call it 8-point grid. All right, and what is 8-point grid? 8-point grid actually helps you to, that whatsoever you are trying to design or whatsoever you are working on in your design, you have it in 8 points, meaning that whatsoever that you are doing, it's it can be, it is divisible by 8. All right, so but basically we start from 4, and very few time we can begin from 3. All right, because aside from 8, and I think the next ones that follows it are divisible by 8 and 3. All right, so the first one you can, so let's say the space between this text and this rectangle here, you see we are having it as 13. The space here is 13, and you can see it from here as well, 13. Okay, all right, so you can, instead of leaving it as 13 here, okay, you can, the first one that we have is, remember I said you can begin with 3 4 12, no, 3 4 8, and then the next one is 12. After 12, so it can be, then after 12 we have 16. After 16 we have 24. After 24 we have 32, and like that. Do you get? So you keep ensuring that every of your spacing that you are giving is divisible by 8 or divisible by 4. All right, basically don't always stay with 3. You can stay with just 4 and 8. That's awesome. Whatever is divisible by 8, it can also be divisible by 12, by 4 rather, except from 12 divided by 8 is not, you are going to be having decimal points. All right, and that brings me to saying one more thing. All right, ensure that every of the value you are giving to the size of your element, all right, you need to ensure that the figure there is not in decimal. Just like the text is having 52. All right, you are not going to be having 52.99. all right, don't have that. Round it off. Okay, let's say you're having something like 52.99, so just round it off to be what, 53. Okay, so in case you are running away from math, all right, you are still going to encounter some math problems, little math problem here in Figma. Okay, and Figma allows you to, Figma is also, you can run some mathematics here as well. So let's say 52, you want to be sure if 52 can be divided by 8. All right, so you can divide it by 8 and click on enter. See, it gives you what, 6.5. so it means that it's not on 8-point group. So but let's say something of 56. all right, so 56 divided by 8, we have 7. So that's very much okay. and many more and many more and many more. All right. So and that's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.